Well, howdy folks, welcome back to another Bass 66 Chevelle video here. And got my 78 F150 here, and I just took and did a couple things to this. Got antique license plates coming for this truck, so we're going to switch this over to antique license plates so we'll be able to drive it. And I'm actually trying to find another motor for this thing to replace the one that's in it, because the one that's in it I had a while back I had pulled the heads off and put new valve stem seals in them and put new head gaskets on it and kind of quote unquote freshened up the top end on it. And well, long story short, I mean it's still got a lot of issues with it. It needs to be pulled out and overhauled and done the right way. But I just freshened it up just to get to where I could at least take it up and down the road and not have a bunch of water in my oil like it was before. But that's another story for another day. But just try to get this truck where I can start driving a little bit. And this is the truck that caught on fire. I had to do some wiring repair on it. But still got some up there I got to replace. I'll go to the junkyard and I'll find a wire harness that's never been messed up or anything, and I'll remove it and replace it. So anyway, this video is about replacing the heater core on this truck. Now this truck is set for quite some time. I've owned this truck since 2000 and I think 17. Alright, yeah, 2016 or 17, something like that. I think it was 2016. But Anyway, this truck is set for quite some time. It had water in it, and long story short, it set over quite a few winters, and the heater core had busted. And when I went to start it up for the first time after I did the top end, quote unquote, freshen up, I had water pouring all over the floor. So we're going to go in here and replace this heater core here so I can get heat back in this truck, because the blower motor works good. I mean, it probably end up replacing it eventually, but it does still work. But I will get in here and we're going to replace this heater core here, and so we can get some heat in this truck, because I'm tired of all these vehicles I got and hardly any of them have very good heat. The Etzel right here, it needs a heater core as well. It's blows out warm, but it's leaking internally because it steams the windows up. So that's going to be interesting. I'll have to measure that heater core, pull that whole heater box out, and then we're going to restore that. So I'll take my time on it, and we're going to restore it and fix it right. And we'll do, because you can't really get heater cores for this type of car anymore. And I've tried to find them. I think you can make them for a 59 Galaxy, so I might have to order one for that. I'll have to look for sure. But if they don't, I'll just buy one and I'll measure the original. And then we'll just find one that's the same dimensions as that one, and then we'll just install that one. We'll retrofit one in and get it going. But this needs a heater core as well, so that one steams the windows up. That Dodge Durango needs a heater core because it doesn't work at all. It blows cold and basically stopped up, and I've flushed it. And it'll last for a little bit. I get a little bit of heat back, but then it'll just clog right back up. But so just about all my vehicles here, except for my red C10, have no heat. And even that truck has got issues with the heat too. It blows, but the ductwork is screwed up, so it doesn't blow through the dash like it's supposed to. So it needs work as well. But the issue with that is it's got all that AC junk on there, and a bunch of ductwork issues. Some of it's missing, and I got some of it, and then some of it was all broke up from just being old. So that's got heater issues too. But it just basically blows straight underneath the dash out right at your feet. But that truck is tolerable. But so we got to get some of this. We got to get at least one of these vehicles with the heat that actually works correctly. But so this is going to be nice. So I got this truck. We got antique tags for it coming. I changed it over. Then did all the paperwork at the DMV, and just going to be a lot more convenient. And Won't have to worry about that stupid inspection sticker and no more than I drive it. Not gonna matter anyway. But anyway, let's get back to this video here, and we'll get this heater core out. And everything I've seen on YouTube about it is it's like it's 4 bolts here. You have 2 on your blower motor. There's one there and there's one there. You have one right down here that needs to come out, I believe, right there. And then you have one that's just a ground strap. Take your 2 heater hoses off. And then there's one, everybody says it's hard to get to. It's really not. Just pull it off. So we'll get to it here. We'll pull this apart. Alright, so we got to unplug this plug here from it. That's the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do. We got this plug right here. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. Now this one's kind of fried a little bit because it was in a fire. So we're going to actually replace all this later on. But you just pull this little piece back here. You pull it back a little bit and just pull them back gently. And this is the hot wire that goes to the blower motor. If you wanted to test it, you could actually run a wire from the hot side, the positive side on the battery there, and then plug it into there, touch it on that end, and then run another wire at the ground, on the ground side of the battery, and touch it right there. It should blow. So that's one way to test it there. Ours is the original one, has Motorcraft on it. So we're going to move on to the next step here. So we unplug that. You need a 5/16 for down here. Get this ground strap and this ground wire off. We'll get to that. And we're trying to do this as quickly as fast as possible. We don't want to be this for days and days. Alright, so we're going to get this bolt out here. It is a 5/16. This is for the ground straps. We'll remove this next. And that way we'll get this apart here. I'm going to go back and replace all the wiring on this thing. But believe it or not, the heater core, I mean not the heater core, the blower motor still works. So it did not hurt that. But I am going to go back and replace all this wiring here, because it's not the greatest. Get this bolt out. I don't think it's ever been apart, to be honest. There we go. Alright, so we got that apart. All that is 5/16 bolt. So put that on the side. We have our 2 wires. They are apart. So we got all these. This is our hot and our 2 grounds. All that's free now. We'll go ahead and the next step is, these are 2 7/16 nuts here. We'll remove them next. We'll get them on out of the way. I'm gonna grab the extension here that I have. And I actually got a deep well for this, but this is a 7/16. There are 2 nuts. So we'll pull this off next. And get this off out of the way. And we'll get in there and get this underneath the hood. And we'll go in there and I'll show y'all what to do. We'll pull our glove box door and our liner out. Hopefully without the liner falling apart. Because if it ends up destroying it, I'll have to order a new glove box liner, which I'll plan on doing that eventually anyway. But did quite a bit of work to this truck. But this old motor that's still sitting in this thing. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the video here, I am going to replace it, and I'm going to save it, and I'm actually overhauling it. So we got these 2 off. These are 2 7/16 nuts. Got the washers that are already attached to it, so there's them 2. We got them all. Now we got that free. So now this is moved. Move that back and forth. So we'll get our 2 heater hoses off next, and just a flathead screwdriver will work. And if they're old hoses and you got an old truck, You know, I would just take a utility knife and just splice them down the middle there and just pull them off. I mean, there's no need fighting it, especially if they're old hoses. And you can actually do that too. If you have enough slack in this hose, you can splice them down the middle, peel them off, and then just cut it back again across. And if you got enough slack there, you can just reinstall it. But these, you can just pull right off. I've had these hoses off before. You can tell this is original heater core because it's still got the copper on it. But I have not ordered the heater core yet. There we go. And I'm going to. But I've noticed that there are two different versions of it, and these heater hoses are come out differently, so I have to watch out for that. Alright. So let's get the dreaded bolt here. Everybody says, quote unquote, it's horrible to get to. That's right back here. Turn the camera around so y'all can see it. I don't think it's that horrible, but whatever, you know. It is right. Zoom in here. Right there. Right there. Oh. Zoom back out from it. So we'll snag it next. And get that out of the way, because I want to knock this out kind of quickly. Let's see if we can sit our it's blocking it. Hopefully it'll sit there. I apologize. Hopefully it does not fall. Now I'm just going to get up inside of this truck here and take her out. Hopefully our camera will sit in place. So our air cleaner, just lift that off. Our nut, it's not even on our air cleaner, it's something else I gotta order. I got a lot of little stuff to do. So we'll reach in here, we'll get this. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so hard to get to. Look at that. Why people think it's so hard to get to. Maybe they get to take it off. I mean, you can still see all the soot from where this thing had caught on fire. There we go. Look at there. Got it off. Alright. So now, we have those three off. Zoom out. So we got the one back here, and we have these two, and then we had the one ground strap down here. So now I'm going to take my hand here just to prove to y'all. See, look at that. Look at that. Fall right back. I just pushed it on back. Alright, let's get in here. Let's get this heater box out. A lot of people saying you got to remove this glove box door. Well, you may have to, you may not. I personally think you will, but Alright, so I ended up taking this old glove box out because there's only two screws actually holding it on there. But this thing's raggedy anyway, so anyway, the reason why they tell you to take all that out, you don't have to take your glove box door off. But anyway, they just tell you to take that out because it makes it easier to get to these screws down in there. And hopefully, let me see here. There we go. You got a screw, you got three of them here. One there, and then one over here. And then what happens is when you pull this back, this is underneath the dash here. I'll demonstrate that. It'll actually hit. See, it's hitting right there at the corner. That's why they tell you to take this off. But get other screws off here. Oh, never mind, it's only 2 at the top. There's 2 at the top. One there, one there. And we got a couple others here on the side. Yeah, you don't have to take the glove box door off. You just come under here. You get these 3 off here. There's 1, 2, and 3. I'll probably end up having to order a glove box anyway, just the liner, because it's old anyway, and honestly I'm gonna end up restoring this truck, but I'm just trying to get her going here. Let's see here, we can put this camera down in the right place. And we'll come back to it. Alright, there we go. Now I actually did this in a matter of minutes. I've been editing this video as I go, and I'm still not even probably 20 minutes into it. Alright, hold on just a minute. Alright, back here. That was a little stubborn, but I got it. So now we got all them. It should slide right on off. Alright. So it pulls right off. I would highly recommend just take a garden hose and wash all these out while you got it apart. See, now we got more clearance here between the bottom of the dash and here, so it should come right on back. So now they're talking about saying, a lot of people are saying, you know, unplug this plug here, which I would understand why. It's supposed to be for the resistor. And then you got this little retainer clip, which I hate these things, so I always end up losing the darn things. So pull that off. Little clip right there, you just kind of wiggle it back and forth. It pulls off. And we can get in here and pull our linkage off. We'll have to get in here with our get our nut driver here and get this off. Let me go get that. I believe it should be the same size. Might be a little bit smaller. Let me look here. Let's see, it's probably a 1/4. I'm gonna say it's a 1/4 inch probably. Look here. Let's see, 1/4 inch here. 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. Yeah, we do. What's this other one here? There, we'll try this one. Right here. And I'm trying not to edit any of this stuff out, because I hate when people do that. So I want to say it's a 1/4 inch. Looks like it. That was smaller than that. Alright. So I told y'all wrong. Alright, so it was a 1/4 inch. It's a 1/4 inch socket. Get that one piece off. That one's, it's not even the right one. But anyway, this is a 1/4 inch. I thought it was. Take our 1/4 inch socket here. Get this off so that we can get our vents. This is for our vents here. We'll get this off. Trying to show y'all a little more in detail about it. Come over here so y'all can see it. There we go. We'll be 20 minutes into this, probably about Oh, probably 25 minutes total. Alright, so now we pulled that out. Now, go in here, we'll pull this back like this, and then we'll pull this straight off. Sometimes I might have to get behind it. Pliers or something. Got a little. There we go. So now that's free. That's free. And I believe there's another one right here we have to get off somehow. Not sure. Okay. See what's going on here. Pull our wires in. I just pulled them in so they don't get kinked up or torn. Alright, so now I just turned it around. Here we are a few seconds later. We'll get this other one off and be ready to pull out. Here. Thing to focus a little bit. Socket dropped. A couple people were saying the new heater cores, the tubes were longer for some reason. Well, that's making it a little difficult to put back in. I would just turn them back a little bit. That'd be it. Alright, so now we have that freed up. We took that out. That was a 1/4 inch as well, so we pulled that off. It comes right on off. Now our heater box should be free. I'm trying to do all this and less editing. I got our heater box here. Now this is the first time I'm taking it out. You know, I didn't do anything before I made the video. So this is our heater box. I just literally pulled out. You know, it's the first time I've seen it out and y'all have seen it out. This is what it looks like. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be bad at all. It really wasn't. Now our heater core is right here. And we have 4 nuts holding that on. Look like 5/16. So let's get that off. We'll pull this piece of foam off. That slides off. Set that to the side. Let's get this cover off. We'll pull this heater core out. We'll know which one to order. It's the easiest heater core I've probably ever put in. You can kind of tell a little bit, but it got pretty hot up in here from that fire. But now it's time to check it down in there too, make sure it ain't a bunch of leaves and garbage in there. So I'm gonna clean all that out before I put it back in. But I did not take my glove box door off. I did pull the liner out, however, but I only had 2 screws on that. The rest of it was ripped up. But I'm gonna order a new one of them later on. Anyway, so let's see for sure. It should be a 5/16. Socket on here like that. There we go. And that's it. It's a 5/16. And it sure enough is. Well, shoot, I didn't even have to use the wrench on it. Maybe that one. Well, 2 of them are already loose. sure you sit your bolts up there in a good spot so they don't fall off. There's two of them. When you get this old heater core out, and I'll get the new one ordered, and hopefully be getting this thing back together. I have no idea what's in here. It could be a rat's nest or anything in here. Set that up over there. It's just 4 or 5/16 inch nuts. Pull this cover off. Like that. That's what we got on that. There's a reveal. There it is. And we'll just take and we'll just disintegrate it. We'll pull this thing on out. Looks like got a bunch of leaves in here too. Okay. There is the heater core. That's what mine looks like. Take this piece of foam. And I'll leave it on for now. So I'll reinstall it on the new one. This is, yeah, we're going to clean this thing. Ooh, that's not good. That's right on top of that resistor there. But, yeah, we'll clean this whole thing out. A mouse nest in it. And people were saying that you can take this piece of plastic out and get a little larger heater core. Well, we will see on that. But we will clean all that junk out of there. And then they're saying too, now's the time you can replace this fan. If it's bad, ours works perfectly fine, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And as easy as this thing is to pull back out, I'll just pull back out if I got to. This is the heater core that was leaking. This is definitely original. I'll find a part number. This has been leaking internally. Looks like it's spread apart a little bit right here. Yeah. Let's see, I can probably find our leak without even... Alright, see if y'all can hear it here. Hold one finger over top of it, like that, and I'm blowing in the other end. See if y'all can hear it. Not really the best way to test it, but it'll work. It's leaking internally somewhere. Just hold my thumb over that one and blew in this one. I'll blow in the other one. I'll hold my finger over this one, blow in the other way. Let's see. I have found it. Yep. There's our leak. I have found it. Right here. Yep. There she is. Right there. It's where it's leaking. So, yep, it's definitely her heater core is bad. So that's how you get her out. And take a reference here how these things. I'll just take this foam off here. Alright, there's a reference point because there's hard to find good pictures online when you got buy a replacement here. So there's the top. We'll lay it down like that. Take a picture of that. I'll take one from our side here. This way. I believe we took one that way. And that way, there's a number. do some measurements here too real quick. So hold on, I'll get a tape measure and measure it. Make this a lot more in detail. Alright, so I got a tape measure here, and we're going to measure this heater core. And just to make it a little bit easier. Okay. So we have right now, it's just going from this way. Alright, come on, clear up there. Alright, from the twos, they're pointing upwards. From the core, the way I'm measuring it right here, down, we have roughly about 6 inches. So that's about 6 inches that way. Measure that, about 6 and technically about 1/8, roughly, to be exact. So it's 6 and 1/8 of an inch that way. And then we go this way from the actual core. That's usually the way they measure them. About the same, about 6 and a little bit less than 1/8. So it's pretty close. Then we'll measure it from the other way. So we'll actually measure the tanks on the side, as you would call it. It's about 7. Let me flip this around this way. There we go. About 7 and line that up a little bit. There we go. Almost about 6 and 7/8. 6 and 7/8. Same thing for that side. About 6 and 7/8 roughly. The core is about 2 inches. Say about 2 inches tall or thick. So I'll go online here and I will match one up to that. Alright, so there's the last part of it here. The only part number I could really find is this here. Now actually, I probably could repair this heater core if I really want. I could resolder the bottom of it. But it had water in it and it froze and busted it. But it looks like it has a H40H, and then it looks like it has a I can't quite read it. Looks like 11371. That's what it looks like. It just says inspected M1. Anyway, hopefully it'll help a little bit. And we'll clean this heater box here out and we'll get it reinstalled. Thanks for watching, and we'll come back to the next part here of putting our new heater core in, or cleaning all our trash out of this heater box here, because you want to do that too.